Hey, welcome back to Cooking with Doboy. I got the rice here we're going to put in. We're going to wait for that to boil. As a matter of fact, I should top it off right now. Why don't you take a close-up? I'm going to show you a little bit about how we're going to prepare some of this chicken. Now, this is just regular chicken breast. It's healthy, a lot of protein, especially after the gym. Now, some people will just throw this in the microwave. They might throw it on the barbecue. Today, we're going to be cooking with the oven. We're going to focus on how to put a little bit of garnish, not necessarily marinating the whole thing for 2-3 days. However long you want to garnish it for. Keep in mind, it's very simple bachelor food, okay? It may not taste like a chef's made it, but I'll tell you one thing, it'll taste good, especially right after the gym. Okay, so what we're going to do, especially with the chicken, we're going to put, again, a little bit of olive oil. It's going to keep that moist, tender chicken flavor. Okay, not too much, just a little bit on there, okay? And now we're going to throw in some spices. Now, since we're going to have vegetables separately, we're not going to add it with the chicken when we cook. That is an option, and you can wrap it up in a little bit of tinfoil. So here we got a little bit of spices to choose from. Now this is what I really like about cooking. The spices is typically your taste. Essentially, I could just spin this and pick any spice, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm actually going to pre-pick a couple spices. I'm going to tell you which one I'm going to use. Now with chicken, it's nice to always cook with colors, okay? The chicken needs a little bit of green in there. You're not going to mix it with red, and that typically gives you a good idea of what kind of spice you're going to go. So I'm going to choose the most green spice I have here. And by the way, good tip, quick tip, you can never have enough bananas. Everyone loves bananas. Okay, so the greenest thing I got here, what is this? Okay, so we got some rosemary, and you know what? This goes really good with some chicken. I'm not going to put too much on there, just a little bit light sprinkle, okay? Not too much. Just enough to give it that little taste, okay? And that olive oil is going to let that rosemary sink in, and the flavor is going to get sucked right out of there. So, we can add a little bit more, but I'm going to tell you what, we're going to just add a little bit of salt, not too much, just to make that a little tender and cook a little easier. And that should be good. I don't like putting a lot of salt or garnish on that chicken because, to be quite honest, the flavor of the chicken itself is what's really going to give you that nice taste during supper. And as well, when we mix it in with the vegetables, it's going to be fantastic. So let's check up on the rice. Okay, water's just about to boil. I'm going to show you how to cook a little bit of the vegetables. We're going to do a little bit of a prep. Okay, we're going to take a nice pan. This pan is circa 1995, as you can see, probably Teflon interior, nothing spectacular, but it does the trick. Okay, we're going to put that on there. Now come take a quick peek at some of these vegetables I'm going to be working with here. My assistant's going to come here. So as mentioned before, we got a wide range of vegetables. Now the key ingredient here is you're not going to be doing a lot of overcooking. The vegetables really taste best when you have that crunchy taste, and the chicken's going to be nice and soft, and that rice. The texture is very important with all three. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to slow cook them in the pan and kind of cover it and let it steam a bit. We're going to keep it on low while that chicken hits the oven. Rice is being cooked. We're just going to leave that on a low heat and let that simmer. It brings out a lot of the color as well as the taste. So what we got here, we're going to cut it up, and it doesn't have to be diced or sliced, just very simple. Okay, we got a yellow pepper here. We're going to do this. It's very simple. 2 slices, okay? Bam. That's it. 2 slices of yellow pepper. Throw that in there, okay? Next up, we got a couple carrots. Now, carrots are interesting. Now, these are fairly large, but you know what? It works. We're not going to do anything to the carrots. We're going to put them just like that for presentation purposes, and at the end, then we're going to cut them up. We're not going to do anything to there yet, okay? We got a couple of broccoli. Very simple. 3-4 cloves of broccoli. I don't even know if you call it cloves. Trees, stems, whatever it is. 3 or 4 of them right in there, okay? We got a little bit of a red pepper. It looks old. Hey, you know what? That's fine. It'll still taste good. Cut a couple slices. Do what you can. Doesn't have to be too small. Doesn't have to be too thick. Nice medium size. Something you got to keep in mind though is when you're eating this, you don't want it to be too thick on the fork, right? When you're eating, you're after the gym, you're hungry, you're starving, you don't want to just gobble it down, but at the same time, you don't want it to be too clunky around there. Now that carrot, it looks big, I know, but we'll cut that up right when before we serve it, and we'll get that going. Okay, so we're going to have this on the bigger one. what we're going to do is we're going to cover that up. As a matter of fact, we won't put it in just yet. We've got the water boiling. We're going to put the rice in. Okay, very simple. Now this rice, because it's mixed with basmati and the mealie of rice, we're going to have a time of about 40 minutes. 20, we can check up on it, but it's all going to be coordinated. Oven's almost ready. It's 7:13 right now, so we'll give it to about, 7:14. We'll give it to about 35 after, and we'll check up on it. Make sure you put it on about 1 so it still heats up. Okay, that's almost ready. Chicken's fine. Now if you want, you can add a little bit more spice to it, but you know what, today I'm just going to leave it with the rosemary, a little bit of salt and the oil. We got a little bit to wait for the oven, so I'll see you in a couple seconds and we'll get some of the rest of the cooking going on. Catch you in a bit.